I'm not ready yet, but I will be, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
I've got, I have to turn off my VPN, and it takes like a couple minutes for it to get ready.
Stabilize.
Yeah.
All right, I think are we ready to go?
I'll get the
Right.
microphone.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. If you please rise and join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let the record show all board members are present and accounted for. No action was taken in closed session, and I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll move on to public comment. This is the time in the agenda where individuals can address the board on items that are not on the agenda. If you'd like to address the board on an item, please go right into the comments section there and on YouTube and leave your comments, and we'll give you some time to get them in there. Okay, not seeing any comments. All right, so not seeing any comments, so we'll move right ahead to public hearing on the local control accountability plan and Lcap annual update.
So if I could just introduce this item and say that our local control accountability plan is the plan that we must submit to the state, a new plan every 3 years. And we have been engaged with the community over the last few months in order to get their input around the spending that we will be doing over the next 3 years. So in that way now we have worked very hard. Lots of credit to Mrs. Lyon and her department, which is really just Mrs. Lyon, I guess I should say, for completing the document and having it now as a draft. And then until our board meeting in June, we now are going into the period of time where the public can submit comments on the plan if they feel like there are some comments they would like to make. And then the plan will come back to the board for approval at our meeting at the end of June on the 24th.
Okay. Okay, and with that, does anyone who'd like to speak or have comments during the public hearing, please feel free to go ahead and do so and leave those comments or statements in the comment section there on YouTube. Okay, seeing no comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, item C, public hearing on employee contracts for RTA and CSEA.
Once again, I'll just introduce this item by saying we have a statutory obligation to hold a public hearing in regards to the tentative agreements that we have with our employee associations. This is just making the assurance that our budget can indeed support the agreements that we are proposing to the board tonight. And so that does require a public hearing. So if there's any comments on that, then we can accept those tonight. And then if this is approved by the board, then we submit these then to the county.
Okay. All right, with that, the hearing is open. If anyone would like to have any comments or make any statements, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Once again, there in the comments section on YouTube.
This isn't something new. We've always had a.
Yes, this is required. But Mr. Castillo is available. Do we have some questions for him about this?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just don't recall doing that before. Usually I recall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, not seeing any comments, so I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to presentations and information. Item A, Addendum Superintendent's Report.
Thank you. It is not normally the course for me to do a report at the second meeting in the month, but I did have a couple of things I wanted to mention to the board tonight. The first is just giving this board an update about summer school. A little bit later in the agenda, we will have a report on our expanded learning opportunities grant application, and our plan will come before the board tonight for approval. But one of the major actions we are taking in an effort to really try to gain some of what we think was lost during the last year of full-time distance learning for students and all of the conditions of the pandemic, Robla is going to have a rather large summer school. We, as the board is aware, we have really just run Freedom School over the last few years, which of course is a great program, but we felt that there was a very strong need to try and really target some instruction for some students who we know have not benefited greatly from the conditions of COVID-19 over the last year. So we are excited to have a summer program that we have launched with our families and our teachers. We are excited to invite our students to come back and spend 4 weeks with us, 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks actually. Starts July 7th and will end then on August 6th. We're actually having a summer school at all 5 of our schools, although we cannot hold one physically here at Robla because of construction. A Robla summer school will happen at Main. So both the Main Avenue program and the Robla program will actually happen on the Main Avenue campus. It will be taught by our own teachers. All of our employees have been invited to come and participate in our summer school program because we feel that we need the support of as many people as we can get to make this a significant learning experience for our students. Employees get to decide for themselves whether or not they choose to participate, but I'm very pleased to say that it's looking like the people we need are stepping up to the plate and giving up some of their summer in order to support our students. So 4.5 weeks, it will happen every day from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock at all of the schools. We will serve breakfast at school, and then we'll give students a bag lunch that they can take home with them to eat at home. We will have enrichment at schools where enrichment teachers are willing to come in and provide enrichment instruction. And the schools are working very hard to have it be something that's very academically appropriate, but also lots of fun, because it is summer and we don't want the kids to, they're tired too after all of this very difficult year. So the schools are working very hard to be creative. So different schools have different themes. Robla and Main at Main Avenue will focus on the Olympics. The theme at Bell Avenue is food for thought, and they're doing some really fun things with that. It's a literacy-focused program at Taylor Street, and Glenwood is still kind of working on the details of what their program will look like. but it's exciting that they will have both an English only and a DLI, dual language immersion program. We will also be running summer school, the Freedom School, and that will happen concurrently at Taylor Street and at Glenwood. So we're recruiting students for Freedom School as well as students for our summer school. So we will be excited to report to the board about how that goes, but we think it's going to be a really important way to expand learning for students. The other piece of my report, actually, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Castillo, who is here. As you know, the governor does a May revision to the state budget, and there's always really good information that comes out. And Mr. Castillo always does such an excellent job of taking all of that complicated information and giving it to us in a way that we can digest it. So I've invited him to take a few minutes tonight and talk to you a little bit about the governor's budget. Mr. Castillo, I'll turn it over to you. You can take your mask off. No, you can take it.
So, good evening, board members and Superintendent Reyes. We attend two workshops regarding the May revision total about like almost six hours long. So I will try to summarize that in about 10 minutes or so. But I think the key points of the presentation is that the May revise really changed significant compared to the January governor's proposal. So right here, it almost increased almost $10 billion. Like if we compare to last year, pretty much they were almost the same, 79. So it actually went down a little bit. So it's significant change in the minimum guarantee. The school districts are entitled increased almost by $10 billion. So that's significant change. So it's almost a percentage-wise, so the ongoing is almost 92%. So what is that meaning for us in our numbers? So if we look at the base for K3, just for grades K3, we used to receive $7,702, and now the base goes to $8,092. So we still receive a lot less than a high school, like 1,700 less. So they call it mega COLA or COLA because in this year, in 2021, we did not receive any COLA, but once the revenues come, we should supposed to receive a COLA. So they compound 2021 and 21-22 in the mega COLA. That's what you will hear this term in a lot at the state level at different levels as a mega COLA. So one major change is that one of the proposals is the concentration grant funding. Like for us, it's going to increase. The proposal is going to increase from 50 to 65%. It's right here. So right here, for every student that is above, every student that we have above 55% on duplicated count, free and reduced, we get 50%. So the proposal is that goes to 65%. This is ongoing funding. This is good news for our district. So they say, like in line below, it says these funding should be used to increase counselors, teachers, and so it's staffing. My questions will be like, do we have enough funding to add all the stuff that they ask us to do? So one of the proposals is in the May revise. The state took a lot of their savings, I would call it their savings, the budget stabilization account, and they in order to pay us the money they owe us. So with the new money that come, they are putting the money back. So they took out $8.3 billion. In this year, it goes going back to 12.5, and in 21-22 goes to 15.9. This money is just for emergency purposes in case something happens, so for the schools continue operating. So one significant changes, you will see that again is that transitional kindergarten is increasing this. So this is the minimum guarantee. He wants to increase it from the 38% to 40%, but he's not paying us that now. He wants us to do in 22, 23. This is the key point, because they want us to have transitional kindergarteners, and that is for kindergartens for anybody age 4 and above. So what does this mean for us? So for us is that for our ADA from the state, we will receive about $20.3 million when we calculate our ADA basis on the ADA. You notice right here, we're still using 1920 ADA. Deferrals, we talked about deferrals several times before. So the deferrals for this year, they still continue, but the new deferrals that they were proposed before for 21, 22, they're all gone, except for the June, that is moving from June to July 15. So just only 15 days. So deferrals, this is good news. They're gonna pay us when they're supposed to pay us, the state. So right here, you will notice that I put right here in a lot of one-time new, because this is new funding, and when we calculate everything, about 90% of the new funding is one time. Only 10% is ongoing, so that is key. So this is $2.6 million to supplement the Spender Learning Opportunity grants. This is a grant that's going to be approved tonight. But this is a new grant, but continues as one time. Another one is a new, also one time, is they call it the in-person instructional help and safety grant, and this is to enhance the in-person grant that we have now to $2 billion. So the Spender Learners Opportunity Grants, Robla School District, we have, this is our summer camp. This is where we're gonna use as the summer school that the superintendent is discuss about it. So this is right here. So one big part about distant learning is pretty much there is no more distant learning. The normal is on person when we come back. That's the new proposal. However, if we offer independent study, there will be some changes in the program where the students have to provide access to technology. We're still going over where the districts have to provide technology, and there has to be a track that right here is track or record or daily student participation. That is something key that we're keeping the new requirements. So again, is the full-time in-person instruction and a program that relies in the independent study, but I will call it like independent study. We allow more attention where before they give the current independent studies, you give the work to the students, they submit it, and but now is that it has to be more communication with the teacher during the process. So summer school after schools, right here, we still look at the detail for 21, 22 is 1 billion. When you apply 1 billion, statewide is very minimum. So that program, I think, is just planning for the following years, because that's when it will be increasing. So again, this is what I call, this is the big one, transitional kindergarten. It is counting part of the budget for this year, but it's implemented until 22 to 23, and they require that all the 4 years attend transitional kindergarten, and they require the class size reduction be reduced about half of what we currently have. So as we have showed you this graph before, and I really like it, because at school districts, no matter what happens, we have ongoing costs, such as step and column, stairs, and pairs, and this year is unemployment increase. So if we look at year 2023, our automatic costs they are increased by what is in the current proposed. It's not even enough to cover their costs. We do have significant funds that are one time, but there's something do have to be careful about ongoing. There's revenues and expenses will align. Our next board meeting, we will come to you with our budget for 21, 22, And we're working really hard to implement a lot of these new proposals that we just learned last week. So the budget is a complete package. And at this time, we're available to answer any questions.
Back on the page on the summer camp,
Yes.
so that refers to the summer school program? Is that
Yes.
what you're saying? So it says, must use at least 85% for in-person service and 10% for paraprofessionals. So it's going to be 95% for personnel in the program. Is that, must be used that way?
Well, it's just saying pretty much that you have to use it for an in-person program. So you can't do like a distance learning summer school. It needs to be in person.
Oh, okay.
And then the 10% is just that you have to allow for paraprofessionals to work, which of course we are.
All right, thank you. You're
welcome.
Reading that.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah. Nothing else to add. Yes.
Any other questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
And then the last thing I have in my report is that I'm very pleased to say that CSBA is back on the California School Boards Association Annual Educational Conference. There is a in-person academy that will be taking place in San Diego on December 2nd. Oh, it's right in my notes. Yes, in San Diego, December 2nd through 4th. And then there is a virtual option, which will be happening the following week, December 9th and 10th. So we leave that has been, and Ms. Devine, just so you know, this is the annual conference that under normal circumstances, the Robla School Board has generally participated in because there's a lot of really great learning that can happen there. And it goes back and forth between the North State and the South State. So if it's San Francisco one year, it's San Diego the next year. So we're back to San Diego. But if you were to decide that you aren't comfortable doing that in December and you'd like to do the virtual option, we have that available to you as well. So I'll just let the board know that I have decided I will attend in person, and I would love to have you join me if that works for you and your schedule. So I have a little sheet. This gives Shari some direction for what activities you would like to participate in and whether you'd like to do the live option or the virtual option. And if you could either fill that out, you could leave it for her tonight, you could fill it out and send it to her, scan it in and send it to her, or you could just send her an email and say, this is what I want to do. Anything works, but registration opens
June 8th.
June 8th. And as you know, especially if you want a hotel room, those go very, very quickly. And she's really very good at acting swiftly if she knows what it is you want to do.
I'll get this to you, Shari, but I do plan on attending, and I'll also be attending delegate assembly.
I'll plan to attend to in person.
Same here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go.
Okay, well, there you go.
Go back to ask a question about summer school.
Of course.
Okay, so the summer school is going to be on administrative teachers' recommendation on the children that need it?
Actually, we are more aggressively inviting some students who we think have the need, but it's pretty much open to all parents who would like to register their child.
The real question I have is if a person is really in need of catching up, but they want to go to Freedom School, is that going to be in conflict? Or how?
We think it might be because we feel that even though Freedom School is a very quality program, generally that instruction is more generic and it's based upon, and that instruction, even though it's overseen by one of our, or two of our teachers actually, it is delivered by generally college students. So we feel that if students have a very strong need, that need would be best served if they were to attend our summer school. However, we have this really great idea, which is that our school ends at 12 o'clock, but Freedom School goes till 3. So we are willing to consider with some students that they could come to our summer school in the morning, and then we will even provide transportation, and we will take them from their morning summer school program to do Freedom School in the afternoon. So they could do both.
Okay, thank you.
that is my report.
Righty.
Thank you.
Okay, next we'll move on to item B, Robla New Hope Charter School update.
So, Mr. Pagani, it's so exciting when we have people who can actually be here. Harinder Pagani, our good friend and colleague who is leading the work with New Hope Charter, is here to provide us with an update, and we're very glad to see you in person, Mr. Pagani.
It's good to be here in person as well, and good to see you all again. It's always a pleasure to come before this board, and tonight I'd like to provide an update. And so I use the technology. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, just give us a minute here.
No problem. I can,
Nope, we can pull it up.
okay.
Just give us a minute.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So again, thank you all for allowing me to present this update on New Hope Charter School. And as always, I always start with this, and I think this is important, just to continue to emphasize the collaboration and the relational trust that we have been building with the board. We actually have been on this journey together with our board, with our superintendent, with the district for 2 years. So April 2019 was when we actually had our first conversation. And so we've worked with folks throughout the district and have built this trust with one another. And most recently, we've been working extensively with families and students. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. Our school facility, I'll just touch on this. We continue to move forward in this progress on our temporary site, which will be at the Glenwood Elementary School campus. And I'm excited that we now are working with Caldwell Flores Winters as our project managers as well. So just, again, more collaboration. Just as the Robla School District is working with CFW, so are we. So that lends itself to projects working more seamlessly together at the Glenwood campus. So on to student enrollment. This is where I'm most excited to share. We started really enrollment about mid-March, and now as of Sunday, we were up to 101 students, and I can update that further. We now, as of today, have 107 students.
Nice.
And our goal is 200 students on our temporary site. And again, what's been most enjoyable in this process is just the relationship building with the families. We've been continuing to do virtual meetings with families. Every week we do a meeting where we just introduce ourselves and let the families ask questions. and just give them more information, because we want to meet every family. We want to build that relationship now so that before the school ever opens, we already have an understanding of who our families are, what their students' needs are. So we are building our program always around the needs of our students and families. And then these classroom visits, most recently to sixth grade classrooms, the past 3 weeks, I've been able to go into classrooms at all 5 of our elementary schools. I actually have one more class to visit, and looking forward to that as well. But the teachers, the principals, and the students have been amazing. The questions they ask you, I know, are proud of your students and the staff, but the questions and the way that they conduct themselves has been fantastic and so respectful, and at the same time, the questions that they're asking are so high level. We also attended our first parent meeting this past week at Glenwood Elementary, and we will continue to focus on parent meetings throughout the district as well. And again, there are many families that, even though we've made efforts the last 2 months to reach out virtually, and also by sending home flyers and with lots of support from folks to do the outreach, but there's still families that we haven't reached. So we have to continue to put in that time and that effort to reach families, and maybe that's at a parent meeting, or maybe it's at the sixth grade promotions that will be coming up at each of the sites. So we're just going to continue to do that. And any other community-based events or district events where we can actually connect with families. So again, we're up to 107 students, and continuing that momentum really is starting to build. And then the other piece that's important along with that is just staffing. That's so important for us to have the highest quality staff, and we continue to have online interviews and demo lessons from teachers. And we are very pleased with the folks who have applied to positions, and they really, first and foremost, believe in the work that we're doing for the community of Robla. Okay, and with that, I will open it up to questions and any discussion.
Any questions?
I will just say that, what a pleasure it is to get to know Mr. Pagani and the people in his organization. I have to say the funding of the facility is turning out to be way more complex than I think any of us had anticipated, and we keep hitting up some new information that we have to deal with. And I just want to say that I think that it would. This could have been in danger of going away if we weren't able to work together as well as we do. So I just want to say publicly in front of the board and in front of our community, Mr. Pagani, that our ability to work together and collaborate, I think, is just so exciting, and I think bodes so well for what's going to happen in the future with this school when our organization and your organization have developed the strong relationship that we've developed, and we look to serving this level of student, which is something I know, especially for those of you who've been on the board for a long time, something we've talked about for so many years, and it's exciting that it's finally happening. So just thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for your partnership and your support.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Did Ms. Howard join the board?
I'm sorry, say that again, Trustee Boyd.
Ms. Howard joined the board.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank
So Ms. Howard is indeed on our board, and so I'm actually having a meeting with her tomorrow. So she has been a wonderful addition to our board.
Thank you. And I'd just like to echo what Superintendent Reyes said. It is exciting. I've been here since 2002 and have heard it since then, and I don't know how long before then. So this is an exciting time for the district.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate that, and I think that's one of the reasons why we don't have a lot of questions or comments, because we do have that sustained relationship. And so, yeah, I'm very excited about this, very enthusiastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say I'm really excited that our sixth grade students are going to have a school under the Robla umbrella to go to. And also, I'd like to point out that maybe on Robla School District's website, we can make it a little bit easier to find. I know it says not ready to leave
Mhm.
Robla district yet, but maybe put something like enroll for 7th grade here. So that way parents who are just coming through can see it.
Mhm. Yeah, we
May-
can look at that.
and may bring more people in because, you know, parents are overwhelmed and everything. And if it just said that, it might be easier for parents.
Right. That's good.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pagani.
Thank you. Exit back out.
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, now we're gonna go on item C, expanded learning opportunities grant.
So as Mrs. Lyon comes in the door, I would just say that we've talked a little bit about expanded learning opportunities, and I have asked Mrs. Lyon, and she graciously agreed to just kind of, this is a new thing from the state, and Cindy has many titles, and the Queen of Plans is one of them that she may or may not like having, but she is exceptionally effective at translating state language and completing the required plan documents. And so, as you well know, she's been very busy because she also does the Lcap, of course, but now she has completed the application for the ELO grant. And I've asked her to give the board just an overview of just the whole process tonight. And I think you're going to enjoy this presentation. And then, of course, the plan will be coming for the board for approval to the board a little bit later on the agenda. So Mrs. Lyon, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So to share with you a little bit about Assembly Bill 86, or the Expanded Opportunities Learning Grant, what exactly is this grant? And what it is, it's a one-time funding that will provide supplemental instruction support for disadvantaged pupils to mitigate some of the circumstances that are the result of COVID-19. The grant encourages that school districts, or LEAs, engage and plan and collaborate with program operation with their community partners and expand their learning programs. So it's very much about looking at what is our needs, talking to stakeholders, and then coming up with a plan that expands our current learning programs. So who will receive these funds? School districts, as well as charter schools and county offices of education, will be receiving some portion of the $4.6 billion that are in this one-time funding grant. Robla's portion of that is approximately $1.8 million. We have a very tight time frame in order to plan and expend these funds. The first part of this, as Mr. Reyes expressed to you, is that one of the things that we need to do is to have a plan and have it approved by our board of trustees by June 1. So this came out in March, so it's been very, very, very quick turnaround. And then in terms of expending these funds, we have through August of 2022. So we have 2 summers and 1 school year to expend that $1.8 million. Something that's unique about this funding is that generally we have to, we expend the funds and then have to apply for the funds. And in this case, we're receiving the funds as long as we have a plan that's in place and it's approved by the board, we receive the funds. If we don't expend the funds, well, I don't know what they're going to decide about that. But you will see, we'll have no problem expending the funds. Okay. So in terms of what we can do with these dollars, it's very much dependent on the districts, and it's a local decision. We have the ability to decide how we want to spend those funds, but there are 7 specific criteria in which we can spend these funds in. These are those proved uses: extended instructional learning time, accelerated progress, integrated pupil supports, community learning hubs, support for credit deficient pupils, additional academic services, and training for school staff. And you will see that in our plan, we're covering 6 of those 7 areas. The one area that we don't cover is number 5, the support for credit deficient pupils, since we are an elementary district. So in creating our plan, Superintendent Reyes, he quickly put together a very complete survey, one for staff and one for our families. And in the survey, he elicit the opinion of staff members and family members in terms of what are some of their concerns in regards to the last academic year and the result of COVID-19 and our academic situation. What things do they see that they feel their students may need? Timeframes, what are people available to do? For example, we're going to talk a little bit about a summer learning program. What was the availability of staff? What was the availability and willingness of families to participate in these activities? And so this plan result is part of looking at those surveys and the information that we received from parents and staff in order to develop what we would look forward to doing. In addition, we have a post-pandemic instructional task force, which is a group of administrators, teacher leaders, and teachers that have been working with the Sacramento County Office of Education, as well as our educational partner, Pivot Learning, to use improvement science to really get at the root cause of some of the results that we're seeing, so that we really create a plan that is identifying and addressing the true issues that our students have been experiencing. So now I'm going to get into a little bit about what you will find in this plan. The one thing that's, because of this small turnaround, you need to have a plan, but there is room to make alterations to this plan as seen fit. Or for example, you're going to see that we're going to talk about the summer camp or summer learning program. We're calling it summer camp because we don't want our families to feel that this is going to be just more of the same, but we're really trying to, as Mr. Reyes spoke to earlier, we're really trying to create programs at our school sites that are exciting and inviting for students and will bring back that excitement to come back and learn, but also learn in an environment that's fun and engaging and fun like summer should be, right? So we do have our summer camp that we're having this school year, as well as the Freedom School program, which will operate at 2 of the sites, Taylor Street and Glenwood. And then our goal is to try to offer summer camp again next summer, the 22-23 summer. And just up in the corner, you'll see the number 1 up here. That indicates that this covers the category 1 in those 7 areas.
Okay.
Under category 2, we're talking about programs to extend during the school year. So for example, after school tutoring programs at each of the school sites, trying to expand on what we currently offer there, increase the number of instructional assistants to assist in the assessment delivery and in instructional time for small group instruction during the school year. So we have the idea of adding additional staffing, and Trustee Boyd, I think you referred to, you saw that some of the funding needs to go towards the instructional assistants or classified. And here is one of our ideas, and how that they can really support the teachers and the students. Additional materials, and then of course the idea of increasing our professional learning costs, such as our professional learning. We have 3 currently. We have 3 days that are non-student days. What are our options at looking at adding an additional day of professional learning? Increase the number of professional learning support teachers. So I've previously spoken to you about our 3 professional learning support teachers. The positions are shared by 6 teachers. The idea is that we're going to see an increased need for some support for our classroom teachers. And so we would increase the number of those support teachers to 5, so we'd have 1 per school site. In addition, we currently have 1.5 coordinators of school climate in the district. We have a position that was not filled. We'd like to fill that position again, so we can go back to 2.5 coordinators of school climate. Their role would be around the PBIS, or positive behaviors in supports.
Interventions and support.
Supports. I know I was leaving a word out. All these acronyms. They do a lot of work around there, but they're also supporting our social emotional learning and working with the special ed department and our director of the special ed program, who also oversees our social workers and psychologists. We'd also like to add additional Chromebooks. The idea here is that we want to extend that opportunity for learning and access for our students. Currently, we sent Chromebooks home with the students. We'd like to be able to have those students continue to have a Chromebook at home, as well as have Chromebooks here for them at the school site. So we would purchase a number of additional Chromebooks. So instead of it really being 1-to-1, it would be pretty much a 2-to-1. One to stay at home for them to utilize at home, and one for us to have here at school. Also, some technology applications that may aid us. We had a presentation from Seesaw. We're looking at applications that look at differentiated instruction, may assist us in our assessment protocols so we're more efficient in our assessment protocols and getting good data from the assessments that we're completing, and also being able to complete assessments in a timely manner. So we're looking at some additional pieces of technology that we may purchase in order to meet those needs. And then in the summer, every year we've had a Teacher Curriculum Institute in which teachers get together and talk about our current mapping of our program, our assessments. So we would support that program this summer to be able to provide that again, where teachers will get together and they're going to really dive into the assessment tools that we currently use or maybe modifying. And then lastly, a peer facilitator. So currently we have one peer facilitator who supports the Teacher Professional Growth Project. We're seeing a need, we're behind in the number of teachers we've been able to service over the last year and a quarter. So by adding an additional peer facilitator, it'll help us to catch up in this next year to year and a half, catch up so that we're back to kind of a manageable level for administrators and the peer facilitator to do that one-on-one work with our staff, with our teachers. And then we'd also like to continue to offer some additional professional learning, like opt-in opportunities. We've been running cohorts previously where teachers volunteer to participate, and they were very successful. We want to go back to that model where we can still offer those additional learning opportunities for teachers, and also improve and increase the amount of training we have for teachers around social emotional learning. Particularly, one of the things that we just recently did with the anticipation of students coming back was zones of regulation. So ensuring that we continue that work as well. So this plan is a very aggressive and comprehensive plan. The grant is 1.8 million. If we completely did everything that we think we were going to do at the budget we are expecting it to be, this is more like a $2.3 million plan. But there's there are multiple resources, multiple grants that are coming out. And one of the ideas is that you really want to look at your programs and weave these grant fundings together so that they complement and supplement each other. And so we're looking at how can we do the things that we need to do, we found in our assessment need to happen, and then extend that out for as much time period as we possibly can.
I'm sorry for this question, but is this a grant application or has it already been approved?
No, it's coming forward to you tonight for approval. So this is the plan that we've written that we would like to
yeah, okay.
work from. Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry, I was going on my application.
Any other questions,
Good to get clarification, Mr. Boyd.
comments? Thank you so very much. Excellent
you.
presentation.
Thank you, Mrs. Lyon.
Here now we're going to move on to action items, and I am going to put items A, B, and C together. Those are the SPSA plans for Bell Avenue, Glenwood, and Taylor Street. So I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I move we adopt the school plans for Bell, Glenwood, and Taylor Street for 21-22.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, first 5 contract agreement with Robla School District.
I'll just remind the board that First 5 is a county program to support It's part of the funding that we use for our preschool program. So this is our annual contract with them.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, approve expanded learning opportunities grant.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item F, approve AB 1200 for RTA, CSCA, and administration.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
This is the public hearing we had earlier tonight.
Okay. Okay, is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item G, approve the unpaid personal leave of absence for Lourdes Gonzalez, 3.75 hour, 10-month instructional assistant at Robla Preschool from May 18th, 2021 to June 11th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item H, approve the unpaid personal leave of absence for Mara Pacano, 8-hour, 12-month bus driver / custodian in transportation from June 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2021.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item I, approve the 2020-2021 and the 2021-2022 employee contract between the Robla Teachers Association and the Robla School District effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate?
I'd just like to thank everybody for the good faith participation they've had in these contract talks. Thank you.
I would say ditto to those comments.
That's right. Thanks.
Okay, any further discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item J, approve the 2020-2021 and the 2021-2022 employee contract between the California School Employees Association and the Robla School District effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate?
Just the same comments for all parties.
I was going to say thank you for all parties working together. It's been such a difficult year and they worked together really well. And I just want to say thank you.
We're all in agreement on that. Thank you for saying it. Okay, any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item K, approve the administrative agreement for the 2020-2021 and the 2021-2022 school years and the corresponding salary schedules.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item L, approve the classified management, confidential, and classified supervisor agreement for the 2020-2021 and the 2021-2022 school years and the corresponding salary schedules.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item M, addendum, authorized disposal of obsolete instructional materials.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Did you want to say anything with this?
It's just that, we are very excited to have a new science curriculum coming on board. The board approved the purchase of that recently, and we're excited. Our materials were quite old, and we have had a committee under the direction of Mrs. Hunt, who has worked very hard to select a new program that we were excited to implement with the new school year. And this is us getting rid of the old science materials. If the board were to approve this tonight, in all likelihood, we would allow students to take those books home so that they just have them as a resource in their home.
Okay. Did I already entertain a motion on this one? I think I did.
Yeah.
Okay, any discussion or debate?
No. No.
Hearing none, move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Now move on to board member requests for future agenda items or reports. Trustee Devine?
Nothing.
Trustee Cardona?
Nothing.
Trustee Barnes? Trustee Boyd? And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again. I think June 10th June 10th will be our next board meeting. Look forward to seeing you there.
Sorry, Ken needs his application back.